10 years, no job. So I gotta just do the drugs, and then I end up here.
Hamburg, Germany's second largest city, has become a key hotspot in the country's drug epidemic. 2024, drug deaths in Hamburg reached their highest level in 24 years, while overdose rates continue to rise across Germany. Hamburg is home to Europe's third largest port and is seen as a main gateway for drugs smuggled from South America into Europe. Drug gangs exploit this route, making the drugs more accessible than ever.
It's really easy. It's literally like an app and you get it like Amazon.
In this video, we visit Drob Inn, an open drug consumption facility, and explore Hamburg's red light district to see how the epidemic is affecting the city and what, if anything, is being done about it. Join me. I'm just outside the main station here in Hamburg, and already you can see some cracks that are starting to show. Just behind me there's a homeless man getting removed by the police, even more police here. So apparently this is a real hotspot where drug taking occurs, but also drug dealing as well. So you get all sorts of people, and it kind of spreads to other parts of the city, which we'll see later on. Yeah, this is literally outside Hamburg main station. While editing this video, news broke of a stabbing at Hamburg Central Station that injured 18 people. With concerns over public safety rising, I want to hear what locals think about the city's drug problem. What's your opinion on the drug use here in Hamburg?
Or it's not so good, I would say.
Why is that?
Because it's so much here, because there's many helps for them, and yes.
Well, it's also related to the trade in the harbor. So naturally the drugs are arriving in the harbor and they were distributed. That problem has been worsened about the last 15-16 years.
Cocaine seizures at Hamburg's port has surged 750% in just 5 years. In 2023, Germany's largest ever cocaine bust took place in Hamburg's port. 35 tons worth over 2 billion euros hidden among fruit and vegetables shipped from Colombia.
That's a big thing in Hamburg, especially because the haven, like all my friends take drugs, they smoke, they even do like harder drugs, and it's pretty normal here because...
What drugs are people taking?
Oh, like weed, ecstasy, and like opioids, like stuff.
That's because it's so easily accessible?
Yeah, like it's really easy. It's literally like an app. Like you get it like Amazon.
Well, in Hamburg it's quite a lot. There's a big park over there where they're trying to contain it, like giving out clean syringes and everything. I mean, you can look around here, especially in the part of the Central Station. It's not great to be here, honestly.
Yeah, do you think that's a benefit or a good thing that they hand out free syringes and needles to people who are using drugs?
It definitely helps for them not contaminating themselves. I mean, it's not great.
Clean drugs are better than dirty drugs, but drugs are drugs.
Introduced in 1994, drug consumption facilities provide safer and more hygienic places for people to use drugs. Hamburg currently has 5, the highest number in the country. Among them is Drob Inn, located less than 500 meters from the central station. Many locals believe these facilities are causing more harm than good. Is that a positive thing for Hamburg to have this consumption room?
No, it's ruining like the social, like where you are, everyone is having a pipe in their hand and like, you know, you smell crack everywhere. It's really bad. It's not gonna help anything, like the help, I don't know.
Do you think helping them kind of attracts people who want to take drugs? They come here because they know they can get it?
Yes, and because there are so many helps from Hamburg that they can go on the place, and there are food and drinks, and yeah.
They're always saying we have to fight drug criminals and everything, drug crimes. But they don't do anything. They're enabling these people. We could only recover if we really say, so all drug crimes they need some consequences.
At least they aren't not everywhere. They're only there, that's a good thing, but still taking drugs isn't a good thing. They need to have more restrictions.
It's good to keep it like in a confined space, not have it all around the city. But like I said, it's not great. Like in general, you need to help these people a little bit more, I guess.
Some people say that having this here brings more crime. Do you think this is true?
Yes, I think it's true. I'm from Poland and we have less immigration problem because I think there's a lot of immigration people there.
You don't think they're German?
Yes, so in Poland we have less immigration problem and there's less crime in Poland. I think here is when I go at night it's a little risky. But in Poland, I don't feel risky.
Do you believe taxpayers' money should be going to fund these drug consumption rooms?
I guess a little bit more, yeah. Because from what I've heard in other cities, it's not like that contained. I don't know if you've been to Frankfurt. It's not great there. It's not contained there. Like when you go to the central station, it's people all around. So definitely a little more because it's not enough, definitely.
No, I think that's not so good.
Yeah, where would you
like it?
Where would you like the money to go if not there?
Wow. Good question. Maybe more for rooms or that they can work somewhere else.
Find
or
jobs,
yes.
yeah.
There are a lot of more important things. For example, the hospitals for children, there are not so many places sometimes. Then they need to spend more money for these things instead of helping them.
This strategy has to be improved. So, for example, in Zurich, they deal with it in another way and they're more successful. So I think they just need more money for this social aspects and to improve the situation.
Why do you think it's getting worse and worse then?
Because there's no help, there's nothing, and no hope. Like,
So you think lack of opportunities for people here?
it's lack of opportunity, it's lack of like support. Like they don't even help the drug addicts. Like in rehab, they don't even give them anything that can help them. They give them pills. Because I was in rehab and they gave me pills, so now I'm addicted to pills instead of weed.
Just under 80% of you that watch my videos are guys, and I know in general we find it hard to speak about how we're feeling, but whether you're a man or woman, we all get affected by anxiety at one point or another. With spring and the longer days, it can be really easy to feel like you're missing out, especially with social media, or you may feel the need to be more productive. The transition from winter can be really unsettling, and all of these can trigger anxieties, and it even affects me sometimes. So I've been sitting on this Hamburg video for weeks, trying to condense down hours of footage into something that makes sense, but every time I do, I get into my own head. I'll start overthinking things taking way longer than I need to, and that expectation we put on ourselves can build up anxiety. Talking to someone can really help. Anxiety often peaks in the late springtime, and my paid partner BetterHelp can connect you with a therapist who can provide the support. The majority of BetterHelp members seek support for anxiety, and 69% of members report improved anxiety symptoms after 6 weeks of therapy on BetterHelp. It's super easy to get started, just fill out a questionnaire and they'll match you with a credentialed therapist. Plus, if you don't feel like it's a good fit, you can switch therapists at no extra cost. There's no need to leave your house or call up, giving you one less thing to worry about. And with over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 rating on Trustpilot, it's a platform you can trust. I personally tried a few sessions myself, and I believe therapy should be normalized just like going to the gym. Taking care of your mind is just as important as taking care of your body. So click the link in the description and go to betterhelp.com/Wesley to get 10% off your first month of therapy. So we're just walking towards the place basically called a no-go zone. Some Germans even call it Zombieland, which is kind of interesting. But this is a place where people come to consume their drugs, apparently their prescription drugs, as well as their everyday use drugs. All sorts of criminality goes on. Even just walking through the centre of Hamburg, just leaving the station, you can just see how much issues there are. I mean, they've got a man just here, I don't know what he's doing, obviously on drugs or drunk. This is literally the first thing people see as they leave the station. It's flooded with it. You can't really go half a mile without seeing any sort of degeneracy going on. But it's literally on people's doorsteps. Let's go check it out. This area was tough to film in. The heavy drug use makes people unpredictable, and when I tried speaking to locals earlier, it led to this.
Okay.
Would you like to say a few words about what this
I can't say anything because I'm first under.
I'm talking to him.
darf nicht.
What are you doing?
Darfst du nicht.
What's wrong with you?
Darfst du nicht.
Hey, what's wrong?
Hey,
Chill out. I'm talking to him.
Polizei auch, darfst du nicht.
What are you doing, mate? Mate,
Ich
piss
bin
off.
Junkie, darfst du nicht.
Behind me is known as Drob Inn. This is a consumption room where addicts will come to get clean syringes, clean needles, and also get their prescription drugs. I mean, some argue that this place enables the people to consume drugs, but I've spoken to the police and they said they'd rather it all be here than in the parks and the local schools. But the scale of it that I'm seeing is just unbelievable. Something we don't see in the UK, something you might imagine in America. I haven't seen anything like this in the UK. Do you think the drug problem is getting worse here in Germany or specifically Hamburg?
I think so, yes. It is getting worse because of almost this, unemployment, people losing hope, they're losing work, so they're losing hope, and maybe they just think or they feel they can flee into drugs and just that this would eliminate this thing, but it's not.
Some people argue that these kind of places enable their habit, encourage them to take drugs. Would you agree with this?
No, I would not agree, because it's just a help for the people.
Yeah.
Because if they would not get the other stuff, the not so harmful thing, maybe that getting worse, because maybe they would go into the shops and the more robbery, maybe one of the impacts there.
Yeah.
Cocaine, heroin, alles.
Does he think this kind of place attracts opportunists and criminals to come here?
Yes, it's definitely attracting criminals and opportunists. Like at the main station, the black Africans are dealing with drugs there, but they're also dealing here a lot, like the Germans, Eastern Europeans and everything, because they have to sell their drugs. So it's just the less bad decision to do it here than in public spaces.
And at least here they might know the police won't arrest them, I guess.
Yes, exactly.
And I see you're handing out food here and giving them tea and biscuits and things. Do these people literally have nothing? Do they literally are homeless, half of these people?
Yes, many of them are homeless, not all. But I think I meet very many people. They are homeless and they tell me their stories and in the situations where they go through. And yes, many of them has a bad childhood.
Right.
And yes.
Just looking around, I've noticed a lot of them are migrants, not so much German natives. Is there a reason for this?
Yes, there is of course a reason, because many of those refugees from other countries, Afghanistan and Syria, are here, and that's why our friends from Iran help us here, because they speak their own language.
What's your reason for being here?
The reason is that, we don't have jobs now. I'm not working, so, I have stress and everything. So, I always want to just come here and, just chill. Just chilling.
Were you born and raised in Germany? How come?
No, I wasn't born and raised in Germany. I just traveled and I ended here.
How did you end up in Hamburg?
Yeah, I don't want to tell that side of it. I just want to keep it secret.
Sure, but people come here just to take their substitution drugs. Is this a way to get off drugs, or is this a place just to use their drugs?
No, it's a place that to use the drugs, and then sometimes some other things. Yeah, you need to also just get it. Yeah, I don't want to also say it on video.
Sure. Do you think this is a good thing that the government allow you guys to take drugs in this space?
It's not a reason, but people just end up, it's stress, you have to understand how stress is, When people get stressed in their mind, there's nothing they can do, they have to do the drugs,
Yeah.
Because I wasn't doing the drugs before, but, actually I was just fucked up, After 10 years, no job. Yeah. So I got to just do the drugs, and then I end up here.
Do you think the consumption room helps to get people to do less and less drugs, or do you think it's not working?
Yeah, people go to therapies, people go to canals, but still they come back to do the drugs. So the drugs, when you try the first time, you're done.
Like an endless cycle.
Yeah. So you're done. The worst place in Hamburg. Yeah. Worst place. Yeah. You can be fucked up. Anything can happen. Yeah. So, but you need to be very, strong. It's just that, as Tupac said, only the strongest survive. So.
Do you think most of the people here are willing to change? Do you believe?
No, I'm not. But I think there are maybe 10%. I don't know if I'm right, but 5 to 10%. There are people they want to get out, but some don't want to get out. This is it.
But at least you're here trying to help them. If there is a 10%, then they can come to you.
This is the thing. Yeah.
Quite a sad state to see what is actually going on. People say that by having these people here, they don't then go to the local parks or schools to take these drugs. Instead, they'll do them here. But there's an argument to be had: when is taking drugs ever safe? There's someone just literally, I don't know what's happened, passed out, and an ambulance has come to pick them up. It just shows you how bad the drug issues that are happening in Hamburg are. People doing all sorts of stuff. And like I said before, and as I said with that man over there, majority are from a migrant background, and You talk about refugees coming to England, getting jobs, integrating, finding accommodation, but for these people, the first step is literally just to get off drugs. And this is the scale of what we're seeing just in Hamburg. Spending time in Drob Inn, you can't miss how out of hand it is. It stinks of piss and everyone's on drugs. In just the first half of 2024, police were called here over 300 times for sexual assaults, robberies, fights and knife crime. Where police turned a blind eye to the drug use, it's basically become a dumping ground for the underclass from every country, all funded by the German taxpayer. So here you can see behind me the police are kind of tidying up some parts of the Drob Inn. As you can see, it's quite a mess. I don't want to get too close all the time because people kick off as soon as they see the camera. But here you get a better idea of what's going on. They're taking pictures of all sorts of stuff. You can imagine the needles and syringes that are just left behind here over this gate. And also, if you imagine if this wasn't here, this would have been a green space for people to use. So this man's literally walking through the street of Hamburg with no shoes and socks on, having just come from the drug consumption area. I mean, that's the kind of risk it poses being so close to the city centre. People have told me off camera that it should be kind of, spread out and not so close to the general public. But that's what's happening here. In front of me here is Hamburg's local bus station. As you can see, the problem is just getting worse and worse even here. I don't think half the people in this bus stop are actually waiting for a bus. So yeah, that's the argument. These kind of places kind of breed criminality, being so close to the drug centre that it just was. So that's what's happening here in Hamburg's city centre, pretty much. And people drug dealing, doing all sorts of God knows what. Later I met up with the local who took us into Reeperbahn, Hamburg's red light district. It's said this is where the daytime drug scene spills into the nightlife and where sex work is legal.
But also the drunk people that are doing their thing there and, I don't know, begging or whatever, yeah?
So it's a bit crazy around here.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, I'm joined by Daniel. He's going to be taking me into basically the red light district of Hamburg. Right, this is where all the crime and hooligans hang out. This is where it all happens, this part of Hamburg.
That's the party scene.
Hi. Guys, right?
Jawohl.
Yeah, you have your kind of your Hamburg homeless on the streets.
Yeah. But also a lot of German homeless because it's here relaxer for them. There are not so many conflicts because the bar owners, I guess, will keep that under control. Bars, sex shops, strip clubs, that's the street you have to go when you're looking for something like this. Also dance clubs, dogs.
This kind of place is literally like the definition of like sex sells, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like Las Vegas. Just without so much casinos, so many.
Do you shop in any of these places?
No, not my cup of tea, you might say. Maybe the owner changed or something. There was a bar I used to go sometimes.
You didn't go into this one, did you? It's called bloody sex house.
No, like I said, not my cup of tea. I mean, just for fun. Sometimes we went to a strip club or something. I just told you. There is really a club that's called the Titty Twister, like From Dusk Till Dawn. And it's also a strip club where a ramp goes right down the street. And it's underground.
So this is the kind of place all the passport bros come and
and the vampires. Ladies, everywhere.
Do you believe like human trafficking does occur in places like this? In like the amount of like exploitation it has for kind of the sex tourism that goes on here?
Here it's more or less regulated because the owners of the bordellos have to deal with the state. And so it's more or less under control.
Sure.
But who might say?
Here you get a real understanding of the homeless issues though, right? On the street. I think where I was this afternoon, it was mainly refugees and migrants, but here you have the native homeless.
More or less.
Do you think that's like a growing problem here in Germany, or just in Hamburg, the homeless issue?
Yes, also because the pressure on the real estate market almost unfolding it's making it worse.
You guys have your local election, and I saw online the things they were kind of campaigning for was like housing. Traffic was one of them, but also migration. None of them spoke about the kind of drug issues and homeless issues that are going on, no? It's not really, it's almost like taboo, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of taboo, it's a hot iron, like we say in Germany, Nobody wants to touch it, because otherwise, you are the bad Nazi again, who has something against foreign people. So nobody wants to find a solution for that really fits.
It's no one's business.
Kind of thing. So they leave it like it is, and it won't get better.
Do you think having places like this is a way for people to, like you said, with people who smuggle drugs into Hamburg, this is a way of getting rid of their product?
This is where it's consumed, and the people have a good time, and tomorrow they have a bad time. I guess it's the next street. It's a more usual party street.
This kind of thing is like, to be honest, it's quite common around Europe. Would you say this is like a bigger party place than Berlin?
No, I don't think so. I think Berlin is different. It's a little bit more underground, I might say.
Right.
And Berlin is bigger, the whole space. You got different locations there. And here it's more centralized on the whole Reeperbahn district. Well, I guess we're here. That's the other side. I mean, that could be.
The red light street behind the fence is men only. Many of the women working here come from Eastern Europe, and there's tight security watching over the area.
We are from the wrong side of the street. See, they don't like if you film here.
Okay.
Yeah, we go from the other side, and I guess we got to turn the camera off when we go through.
Inside the red light street, filming wasn't easy, as it's not really allowed. But here you can sense how broken Hamburg feels. Legal drugs in the morning, legal sex work at night, nothing's off limits.
And this is where Hamburg is infamous for, just... Nee, danke. Nein.
Yeah, you think these people are all trafficked?
Maybe, maybe this is also something that is dying out.
So just over there is basically the red light district, isn't it? It's all hidden behind some fences and doors. No one can really see what's going on until you.
Just the obvious things, I guess. Yes.
We saw loads of half-naked women there.
Got so much concurrence from the internet. There's so much sex overload. Today. So I don't know if this is maybe something like extinguishing branch. You can go to Tinder and have more or less the same if you want to. I think this will always exist in some way. The question is if this is how it used to be in the future.
And do you think it's kind of fueling this kind of degenerate behavior, drinking, smoking, women,
you're celebrating it here. That is something that is celebrated, and you can ask the question if this is really something, that is desirable.
Or even benefits in society, right? Like, you have drugs on your doorstep, you have sex on your doorstep, and when's it come to a point where you're bettering people, or are you just fueling them to make them happy?
Maybe it's when it becomes normal. I mean, do you want your kids to be like that? This is always the question. The question of the kids, how you raise your kids, how they grew up. Is this something desirable? Is this something we should push further, or should we say, okay, is this just something? Some shortcut. So the things that are really matters in life. That is the question.